tonight, obviously, I feel like that was probably pretty noticeable. You just can't let that take you out of your game. So for me, I didn't really have much to say back. Just, play hard, go at them, and try to help the team in any way I needed to.
And like the other night against Michigan, they started their run at the beginning of the fourth quarter, but you guys quickly responded. How much was the Michigan game in that kind of aspect a lesson to you guys that carried over to tonight? And were you happy that you guys executed there?
Yeah. I think we normally, I know we're always going to come back at them. So I don't think any of us are really concerned. Even in the Michigan game, there wasn't really much of a concern. I think we know, how talented we are and how hard we play and where our effort can take us. So, in all honesty, like I nobody was really, too worried. There's a lot of game left. So.
Tanya, you're up. Go ahead, and we'll have Wyatt on deck.
All right, great game tonight with the win over two top, opponents. What did McGruff, what did he stress after the Michigan game, to prepare you for tonight's game? And also, it was a physical game. So, at the beginning of the half, you kind of had some missed layups and some turnovers. What was that drive to get back and win the game tonight?
One thing that we really knew that we had to emphasize was transition defense. That was going to be big for this team. They're really good in transition and getting out and getting easy buckets. So that was one thing we really emphasized. And I think it was just every time we go up against Maryland, it's going to be a tough, rough and just overall physical game. I think we expected that. I think they probably expected that. And just keep playing and keep your head in the game. Can't let that get to you. It's just how it's going to go.
Wyatt, you're up. Nathan, you're on deck.
Yeah, Braxton, this is a team that you guys faced 3 times last year and you went 0-3 against. Just how much did those games last year, including the tournament final, did that give any extra motivation just to come out and win this game tonight?
Yeah, of course. I mean, nobody likes to be 0-3 against the team. So, obviously we wanted to come out and win. But even if that wasn't the case, I think there's a lot of motivation just with, it being who they are and where they're at and the rankings and just the competition that we know it's going to be. I think there's always that.
And Jacob had asked this as well, but those back-to-back threes for you, did you feel the momentum shift in the game at all with those big makes right there?
I was just trying to help and play hard. I think my teammates are awesome. They kind of made me feel the energy and the momentum. But in the moment, I was just, I think, really locked in and trying to do anything I could to help the team. So my teammates were awesome though, and they made me, feel the momentum more.
Yeah, and obviously there's a long season ahead still, but to beat the two teams that were undefeated left in the Big Ten in back-to-back games, just what does that mean for the goal moving forward of obviously winning the Big Ten in the regular season?
Yeah, it's of course our goal. We just take one game at a time, prepare for each game, as hard as we can and go day by day. So I think we're, putting in a lot of effort. We're working really hard, and fortunately it's really, showing.
All right, and we'll finish up with Nathan. Go ahead.
Hi, Braxton. Obviously, the 3 was huge for you guys today. You shot 47%. With that, was that something that you guys worked on this week with practice? And what kind of adjustments did you make with that element being incorporated in your game?
I think we work on threes every week. I don't think it was necessarily something we were like, we have to hit threes. I think every game we think we have to hit threes, it's just what you want to do. But I think that, us shooting and well and things like that definitely benefited. But we strive to shoot well every week against every team. So.
And after an elating win like this, obviously a top 10 team in the country, and as Tanya said, this is your second top 15 team in a row, and you've got a really tough stretch, 4 games against top 25 opponents. How do you refocus after a win like this to go on the road to play a tough opponent at Assembly Hall later this week?
Just like we did last game, it's awesome that we beat these last 2 teams, but what does that have? It doesn't mean anything for the next game. We know we have to come back out and put in a lot of work in these next 2 days, and it's going to be a hard battle. So we know that. So it's just about preparing for the next game. It's awesome that we could do that, but it's in the past now, and we got to move forward.
Awesome. Thanks, Braxton. Appreciate it. All right, Wyatt, how about you go ahead and start with Madison here?
Yeah, Madison, you had said earlier in the week that there's some extra motivation to come and beat this team because they beat you 3 times last year. Just what went differently in this game to come out with a win against Maryland?
I just feel like our preparation coming into this game was really good. Coach really emphasized preparation and knowing your personnel. So I feel like we really focused on that, and we handled business tonight. So I'm happy.
And for the second straight game, it seemed like the lead it was pretty strong, and then they started to really chip away again. It came really close at the end. Just what did this win and Michigan as well just show about the resiliency of this team?
Yeah, we knew they were going to go on runs, and it was going to be a tough game. But the team, as we showed, we're a tough team. They're a tough team, but we did what we had to do. We stayed focused and played our game, and we came out with the win. So yeah.
And this team has a lot of different scores, but actually Owusu is a lot what the offense runs through, and you were able to force some key turnovers on her. Just what was the game plan in covering Owusu today?
We knew she was one of their best players on the team, so we just had to stay in front of her and just try to slow her down, get her. We knew she liked to drive the ball and use her body a lot, so we just try to focus on that and try to slow her game down.
We'll go Jacob Myers up next with Tanya Kelly on deck. Jacob?
Madison Wyatt kind of alluded to this, but like the Michigan game, Maryland had a comeback there at the beginning of the fourth quarter. Then you had those big spurts of offense from JC and Braxton. What did you like about their games tonight, and just how big were they in that final quarter?
Oh yeah, they both played an amazing game tonight. I'm really proud of them. They came to do what they had to do. They did what they did what they do. They hit threes. They JC had a lot of good run out layups. So we were just really proud of them, and they played hard. They played great. So we need them in every game, and they came and they showed up tonight.
We talked in the last week or so here that this team learned a lesson to have to bring it every single night after that Nebraska loss. And I think against really good teams like Michigan and Maryland, it's easy to do that. But there's also some maturity that comes with kind of not getting too high off of wins like that. And you also have some games coming up against Indiana, Northwestern, good teams here. What do you think this team, and especially tonight, has shown and learned just kind of how to carry themselves after a big win?
After a big win, tonight we're going to enjoy it in the next couple of days, but we still have to prepare for the next one. We got to enjoy it and just move on and continue to focus on the next team. We can't get too high, can't get too low, but, just keep doing what we're doing. I feel like we're preparing well and playing great, so just trying to continue that.
All right, we'll go Tanya Kelly up with Nathan Forsotho on deck.
Green. Braxton said, knowing your personnel. Can you kind of, elaborate on tonight's game, making sure that you knew who your personnel was? There was kind of bumps in the road, at the beginning of the game, but you controlled the tempo. So can you, talk about that? You played a high scoring game again tonight. Can you talk a little bit more, walk us through, what were you thinking, going into the second half of the game?
So with knowing your personnel, we just had to watch a lot of film and know who we were about to play. So if we were guarding a shooter, we try to stay up on them, or if we were guarding like Owusu or anybody like that, we just try to match their game and try to slow them down. But I feel like we did a great job tonight preparing for this team. We really listened to coach, and we handled the game plan well. So I'm proud.
All right, we'll let Nathan finish it up. Nathan?
Hi, Madison. Earlier this week, Kevin talked a little bit about some of your preparation work and how much work was going in the film room. What kind of impact did that have on this game? And is that something that you continue to see going forward with this team?
Yes, watching film was really important just to see how they play and see how they operate. And we knew that they were really good in transition offense. So we had to really focus on our transition defense. And we knew they like to trap and do different things on defense to try to mess us up. But I feel like we really were locked in on the game and focused, and we handled business.
And Musa, CJ, Eugene, a few of the guys from the men's basketball team was in attendance tonight, as well as President Johnson. What does that mean for you to have the support of your fellow athletes, your fellow students here, as well as the president of the university?
Yeah, it's great just to have the support. We need it, this whole season. We haven't really had a lot of fans. So it was just good seeing them out there along with some of our families. So it was great, and after a big win, it feels even better.
Hey, Kevin, this was a Maryland team that had come in winners of 10 straight. It had won 21 games straight in the Big Ten. Just what was working tonight to come out with the victory?
Well, they got a great team, and they've been playing exceptionally well this year. So I knew this was going to be a real challenge for us, of course, obviously. But I think it was a great game. Both teams played really well. Both teams made big plays. I just think we made a couple more down the stretch to give us a chance to win.
And this seems like a big stretch for you guys in the schedule. 4 straight ranked teams. You've just now beaten Michigan and Maryland on back-to-back nights. What does this mean for this team to get these big wins and to really start to get to the top of the Big Ten in this way?
Well, the league's so hard this year, and everybody's so good, and we are in a very difficult stretch against some of the best teams certainly in the league. And I think the key for us though is just kind of go day by day. As I told them in the locker room afterwards, hey, celebrate the win, enjoy it. That's a great victory. You guys really earned it. But then tomorrow you got to turn the page. Indiana's playing great basketball. They just had a huge win at Northwestern. We know that'll be a big challenge. So we got to make sure that we really stay with our preparation day to day so it can show up in these games.
And this seemed like a big game of runs. Maryland seemed like they were about to go on one to start the fourth quarter, and then you scored 21 of the next 26 points. Just what did this game show you just about the resiliency of the team that you have here?
Yeah, I mean, I think our competitive character is as good as it's been probably since I've been here. These kids really fight and scratch and claw and play for each other, and I think you saw that now the last couple games for sure. And that's how you beat a team as good as Maryland. I mean, they're a great team, and we were going to have to play extremely well, and I think for the most part we did.
Kevin, in the fourth quarter there, well, the start of the second half, Braxton was forcing a few shots, and then she struggled at times on Owusu, but came back with those 2 big threes. I guess just, it's something we come to expect from a senior and her to have some struggles and then come back, still make the big shot. What did you make of her performance? Yeah, no, I thought, that stretch where, we kind of took a lead and she made 2 huge shots, absolutely huge. And, and you expect that out of your upperclassmen. And so she certainly delivered tonight. And, Owusu is such a great player. And she certainly scored a lot of points tonight. But I also thought Braxton had a lot of good possessions defending her as well. And, I mean, this is not to kind of understate it at all, but this is a big moment for the program. I know there's a lot of season left, but especially after that Nebraska loss, and we talked about how this team has to kind of go about in a mature way. What have you liked about how this team has done that? And certainly they're going to have to do it these next 2 weeks. Yeah. So, I think coming off of that big win against Michigan, we got back in the gym and we practiced well and prepared well heading into this game, which we hadn't done heading into Nebraska after the big win in Iowa. So hopefully we learned that lesson about it. It's really about our preparation and our process day to day to get ready for these games. And, if we don't stick to that and commit to that, then we're going to leave ourselves vulnerable, and you just can't do that in this league. So to answer your question, our focus and preparation and practice has been significantly better since the Nebraska loss. Do you think not having Aaliyah Petty in the lineup has maybe contributed to that a little bit, and maybe is more confidence building not having her in there and they're still getting these wins? Well, it was good. I mean, with her out, you got to have some people step up, and I think Tanae and Rebecca both had really good moments today. They both got a couple big rebounds. They helped get some stops defensively.
And that's what you need to do. I mean, you're going to have injuries and things are going to happen, especially this year. You're going to have people in and out with COVID and so forth. And you've got to have people step up. And we had that tonight, and that's what it takes.
Next up is Tanya Kelly with Nathan Forstolfo on deck.
Great win tonight, Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
It's going to be a quick turnaround between games. What's the priority for the team as you prepare for Indiana on Thursday? And then my second question is, how did Green and Sheldon and Miller, how was their performance impact the game tonight? How did their performance impact the game?
Yeah, it's going to be a quick turnaround heading to Indiana, and they have a great team. So, it's a combination of get a little bit of rest, but then get in the gym and make sure we get prepared to go play. And I thought, Madison, JC, Braxton were all outstanding tonight. I thought our guards in general were really good. We were really quick up the court. We really attacked them off the dribble and got to the rim, got to the free throw line. But I just think like the pace that our guards sort of established tonight was really good for us.
All right, we'll finish up with Nathan. Go ahead, bud.
Hi, Coach. So in the second quarter, you guys trailed there for a little bit. Going out into your second half.
Yeah, the first quarter we were really good offensively, and really what had happened, we got stops and steals in the first quarter, which allowed us to get out in transition. In the second quarter, we quit getting stops and steals. We were taking the ball out of the net too much. We got bogged down a little bit offensively. So the second quarter just wasn't real smooth offensively. But we kind of got it together at halftime and played much more efficiently on the offensive end.
And then you talked about going, obviously, on the road. You've got a big upcoming game in this brutal stretch to Assembly Hall. What do you have to do to refocus your team? You've got another tough opponent coming up.
Yeah, that's where we got to, we need some leadership out of our upperclassmen and to show some maturity and just, I'll certainly remind them that we've been good the last two games because we've practiced really well. And that's just the way it works. There's no shortcut around that. You got to prepare and you got to practice the right way to get prepared for the next game. And so, hey, we got to enjoy this win tonight. It was a great one, but very quickly tomorrow we're moving on to the next game, which is Indiana.
Great, Kevin. Thanks. Good win tonight. Appreciate the time.